Hello YouTube, Creator Djarin here, and today, as you probably saw from the title of the video, I'll be doing a hero concept on the Mandalorian in Djarin. If you're wondering why I'm not using Boba Fett, well, I used that for the last hero concept, Cad Bane, and I don't want to repeat heroes for in different maps. So yeah, now let's get into it. So the Mandalorian would start off, well, Djarin would start off with 1,200 health, so that's about 200 more than normal health. So it is quite a bit of a, so he's not too much, but it is still a bit more, to the point where he is a bit more survivable than normal, and plus the traits does increase his health, but not in the way you're probably thinking right now. So let's get into the and his main weapons and his type of movement. His movement would be very similar to Boba Fett. Of course, he is a Mandalorian, so it will be very similar. It will be very similar to him. So his movement is going to be very similar to Boba Fett. So now we can get into the blaster he would use. Now he would use his blaster pistol, which can be swapped out in an ability, but instead of how in my Cad Bane concept, he has his strength replaced with his rocket boots. The Mandalorian has a normal jump. His jetpack works the exact same way that Boba Fett's does. So now we can get into the abilities. His first ability would be like Jin's rifle configuration and 9's rapid pulse cannon. This is because this changed him from his normal blaster over to his sniper rifle thing he has. This would deal about, also the pistol I forgot to mention, it deals around 40 damage. So now we can get into the sniper rifle's damage. It does about 150 damage to the body, so can get rid of any any trooper, with it being 200 to the head. It will also have the explosion effects that it usually has on the enemies. So yeah, now we can get into, and it also has no cooldown, as it just changes what weapon you're using, so we will not have a cooldown. So now we can get into the next ability, which is basically works the exact same way as Boba's middle ability does, which I do not even consider ability since it doesn't use the ability button, and that is the jetpack. This will basically be exactly the same as Boba Fett's, with a bit more fuel. I think that's a bit more fair, and a bit better of movement, because I think that's a bit better. In my opinion, his jetpack is not that good in the game, so I think having it like that does improve it. So now we can get into the last ability before we get into his traits. His last ability is the Whistling Birds, and if you've played EA's Battlefront 2, then you will probably know how Lando has an ability called Sharp Shot. This will work quite similar to this ability, because what you basically do is that you activate the ability, then you conjure a maximum of 8 targets at any range, and then whatever the target, and then However, you cannot fire your blaster, so you have to use this wisely. So yeah, and then once you've locked onto your targets, you will have to press the fire button, which would usually be for your blaster, to fire the whistling birds. So they will also take a bit to get to your enemies, since they will have to go a bit flying, so do keep that in mind. So now we can get into his traits. The trait will be called the Mandalorian. That's just what I put down on the thumbnail, which you won't be probably able to see because of how big it is. It won't fit. But basically what it is that it gives him armor. Depending on how high the level is, he'll have armor, gains extra damage, and if he reaches the maximum level on the armor, if he gains the maximum level on the trait, he also gains a new melee ability, which will take place of his 4th ability slot. And we'll use the E button, and it is kind of strange with how I've made it work, so we will take a little bit of explanation. So the first rank of the trait will give him armor 1, along with upping his damage to be 60 damage from his blaster and 5 more on his rifle. So yeah, and then on the second one you get armor 2, where you get the extra damage will be going up to 70 on the pistol, and only up to 100, and go up by another 5 on the rifle. And then on the last one it goes, you unlock the dark saber for your 4th ability, as that's what you used in the Book of Boba Fett, and that's what this is based off the book of, and this is what he's mainly based off the Book of Boba Fett. This is what this concept is, as it's a 3rd part to one of the concepts I've been doing, so that's what it is. So for this, and so you get on 3 with this, your damage is upped by 10 on all your blasters, so you'll do either 200 damage or 170 when it comes to the rifle, and deal, I'm pretty sure, around either 70 or 80 damage when it comes to your blaster pistol. So yeah, but you also unlock the dark saber once you reach rank 3 of your trait. However, this does work in a very strange way, as you only have it for a limited time. When the trait goes down and it's empty, you will lose access to the dark saber, and you have to get back up to trait 3 to regain it. If you decide to wield the dark saber while it's basically almost waiting, ready to be used, while the trait is going down, then it will not disappear, and depending on how long, and then you will gain, and then you will have longer access to it when the trait goes down. So yeah, and so you'll go by 3 seconds the more you use it, and then however it will not apply to the current use unless you've already done that use of the dark saber. So we will go from 3 seconds to 6 seconds to 9 to 12. You get the point. So that's basically how the dark saber works. It will be pretty much exactly like how Darth Vader's and Luke's sabers are, with the blocking animation being more likely to be like the one that Darth Vader has. So that's what I'd assume it would be. So, but yeah, that's really it for the Mandalorian. So I think he could be a fun hero if he was added and done right. That's also if he was even. That's also if this game was still having updates when the Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett came out. I couldn't really put any other hero for the light side when it comes to this Book of Boba Fett concept, so I've had to go over for the Mandalorian because I can't really do much else when it comes to it. Like, you can't really have Boba Fett since he's on dark side, so it can't be used on all modes that would allow troopers. You can't really have him on, and you can't really put him on dark sides because that would make sense. You can't really put Fennec Shan there because then Boba and her are on different sides, so it's very hard to try and get it all correct. So, but yeah, that's basically it for today's concept. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.